Welcome back to Adults Doing Dumb Shit. Night at the Office.
Mm-mm-mm.
With my many names, JBL, Danger 2, The GOAT. The GOAT. Nah, let me stop. I got in the white, we got Mr. Krabs, the Penny Pincher.
Yes,
In the
sir.
black, we got Big Huncho. Uh, honestly, Curtis, yeah, go ahead and just damage.
Boys, I think y'all know why I'm laughing right now.
We had the pleasure of going to the worst city in America. Sorry.
Oh, man. This is the worst first seed that I'd argue there has been in the NFL in the last 10 years. The last 2 weeks have been such a disappointing show for every single Eagle fan. I mean, y'all look terrible this week. We saw it firsthand, cannot get a single thing going. Luckily, I mean, the kicker showed up. You got 2 field goals. That's your highlight player for this week. Defense allowed way too many points. Dak Prescott tore y'all up. Everyone was talking bad on Dak Prescott, saying he was a fake quarterback, saying this and that. Can't beat the good teams. I mean, it was a disappointing week for all Eagles fans.
Now, I'm going to tell you why it actually wasn't that disappointing.
Oh, come on now, boy.
No.
You're in denial.
Like I told you, I rewatched all 22, the entire game, and that. Oh yeah, matter of fact, let me just get started. All right. First off, Sean Desai. Last year, we almost break the sack record. All we did was replace Hargrave with one of the best rookie defensive tackle, Jalen Carter. We lost Linval Joseph, and yet we can barely even touch the quarterback. Third down schemes are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Bills sliced us up. Dak Prescott sliced us up. But in the second half, they started playing a little bit better. The young rookie cornerback, Sidney Brown, Ringo, and the Ricks, they actually played well in the second half. If you saw, Dak Prescott couldn't get as much offense going. It's not like the 49ers when they blew us out. Debo out there getting 50-yard runs. But all three coaches are in my hot seat because Brian Johnson's offensive creativity is so awful, bro. I looked at the route tree for AJ Smith and Goddard. That shit looked like Madden, bro. That shit was predictable. Four
Mm-hmm.
verticals. We looking at slot and goes. We screen. I was like, Jesus. But then Darius Leonard knew, played a little slow. He had a little semi-broken back, but he's still playing good along with Zach Cunningham. Zach Cunningham actually had a decent game, rock solid coverage, didn't get much his way. Uh, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The fumbles made it look a lot worse than it did because we were driving the field up, and then we would just get the turnovers at the worst possible
Every
time.
single time.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts fumbles. I think he's had a fumble every game since what, like weeks? What was it, Dalton? Like week 8 or something? Put him. I
No.
don't know. But Eagle just need to switch things up. Me personally, I feel like in these next couple of weeks we can polish things up, but as of right now, our defense ain't gonna win us no playoff games. I mean, we like last year, we was scoring 30 plus, even though teams would get up on it. We were scoring 30 plus points. We can't even do that now. I mean, the pass rush is undisciplined. Too many lanes for the quarterback to step into. Obviously, Dak scrambles are crazy. But yeah, Dalton, what you got?
Yeah. Obviously, it was a painful game to watch there as a fan, but I think that maybe we were just caught up in the moment, like you said. I went back and I watched the game over again. Saw some things that obviously you don't see as when you're losing. You just look at all the bad, but a couple things I will point out: the offensive line did play very well as far as the pass protection goes. I think a few of the issues we had was Jalen Hurts, decision making on a few of holding the ball too long or making a few inadequate throws instead of using his legs. I mean, in a situation where you got 5 down linemen blocking and you get 6 or 7 people rushing,
Uh-huh.
the offensive line can only do so much. You know what I mean? If they're outmanned, you can't expect them to hold, for more than 3 seconds. You know what I mean? So I think you look at a couple, like I look at the fourth down play in the third quarter where Jalen Hurts threw behind Devontae Smith's back. on the slant. That was a big play in the game, another momentum. Because I mean, there were plenty of drives in the game where Philly we were moving
flashes, but then drop passes.
Yeah, drop passes. But you look at it this way, that stuff's not going to happen every week. I mean, A.J. Brown's not going to drop a wide open touchdown pass. You know, A.J. Brown's not going to fumble on a slant coming across the middle on third down, you know, every game. Jalen Hurts, I guess you can count him in for one fumble a game. But you look at the big picture there. Offense obviously did look stagnant at times, but it did move. We did move the ball. I mean, it's not like we were just, you know, I think at one point in the game we were almost tied for yards. I think in the third quarter there was a stat, similar time of possession.
Yeah,
I think we were at 40 yards less than Dallas. We just didn't have points. We weren't finishing in the red zone when we had the opportunities, and obviously the turnovers. We had, you know, you look at it this way: we had a turnover on our first drive of the game, and then we come out at half and turn the ball over again. So the two times where we could flip momentum or at least punch Dallas in the mouth, you know, we get down to, you know, their side of the 50 and turn the ball over. Obviously, Jalen Hurts' fumble was at the 20. A.J. Brown fumbled there at midfield, 40-yard line. And we were driving. You know, you look at things, let's say we go score a touchdown in the second half. All of a sudden, we're down by, 7? And the defense played, honestly, lights out in the second half. Gave up 9 points. You know, I'd take up 9 points against Dallas in a half, especially at home, or I guess on the road you would say. So defense did tighten up in the second half. I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but, you know, this as we were at the game, there's a lot to talk about here. We can dissect every aspect of the game. You know.
But let me also add that, like, the running game was just non-existent. We will literally run 3 straight drives, 5+ yards with Swift, and then we won't see another run.
Yeah, and that's where you look at play calling, and that's something you can look at as that's something you can adjust. That's an easy adjustment.
It is, but when it happens 2 weeks in a row, right?
Yeah.
And then of course you have a top 5 rusher in DeAndre Swift. We also had Penny, right? I get Penny might not be in the picture, but he's a power back. Swift actually gets injured a lot. We want to cut that usage down just a bit. Just use Penny or use Gain. I really don't want Gainwell in, honestly, but just use the running backs, right? Let's get some rushes in. Jalen doesn't have to move on the feet. Jalen barely rushed those first couple of wins. Like, he was barely using the feet. We were still getting the dubs out. Obviously, he can make the plays when he needs to, but let's just run the ball.
Yeah,
I think I seen the records. Sirianni's like 2-6 when he doesn't rush for more than 20 times or something. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. I mean, Eagles have not made any adjustments so far this season. I mean, they've been winning consistently, and so they felt they haven't needed to make any adjustments, whereas teams have been watching Eagles film and have been making adjustments. I mean, honestly, the Eagles' offensive line looked pitiful. They did not.
I wouldn't say pitiful.
I would say that we looked,
looked pitiful. Dak Prescott had 3.9 seconds on average in the pocket, whereas Jalen Hurts had 1.9 seconds, almost half the time. I mean, they couldn't adjust to the blitz until the fourth quarter. And plus the penalties. I mean, the Eagles had 95 yards in penalties, 3 offensive pass interference calls, which is just insane. There's no reason why any team should ever have 3 offensive penalties. I mean, pass interference penalties. It wasn't good at all. They're gonna have to start making some adjustments all the way around, because so far it's been a stagnant winning team. But the last 2 weeks they have not been stagnantly winning. They've been stagnantly getting destroyed.
But I said, keep the main thing the main thing. We still 10-3. We still have the most wins over 500 teams, right? Dolphins, Bills. I believe what was the other?
Kansas City, Dallas.
Dallas. It's still a good team. We just got to go into that locker room, go into the film room, get back into our identity, get that identity back, and get the Fly Eagles fly into the stadium, and then go into, what is it? It's a away game at the Seahawks.
Yep. Yeah.
And actually, I think Gino's hurt, which is unfortunate because critics are gonna call that game too easy. But we need to go into next week and handle business at Seattle, honestly. So.
Yeah, I mean, with this loss too as well, Eagles dropped down to the 5th seed. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Yeah, but
but if we
I'm
win
gonna
the next
pause. Hold
4,
on.
we're literally back in the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say you
With
can
the 49ers
pause.
with us.
as long as the 49ers don't lose. You think the 49ers going to lose next week? The way that they've been looking, I'm not sure 49ers will lose.
Well, they have the Ravens, and that'll probably be our biggest. First, that'll be the telltale on who's the best team in the NFL right now. But that'll also be the chance for the 49ers
Great game
to
next
catch a
week.
L.
Yep.
But yeah, and also let me just go ahead and get this out the way for Cowboys fans. Cowboys are a better team as of right now. Dak Prescott actually did play well. Been playing at the MVP level. I'll give him that. CD's going crazy. It hurts to see him doing good, but he's killing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like Pollard on that little offense. But Dallas is stout. I mean, that defense, we already know what 11 and DeMarcus Lawrence bring, all them boys. Yeah, I mean, but they, like I said, 49ers at the top of the poll right now. Eagles got to earn their way back up to the top. I mean, it's going to be interesting how the playoff shakes out, honestly.
Yeah, and I like to add, because I know Curtis is saying, Eagles dropped down to the 5 seed. You look at it this way, the Eagles they control their own destiny. Eagles win out, they're going to be the 1 seed. Even if Dallas wins out, Philly will be the 1 seed. Or not the 1 seed, but they would have the division over Dallas. So that's over the idea that Dallas did lose to the Cardinals, which is an NFC opponent, and we'd have the same record in the division. It would go to a conference record. So Philly will still hold that over them. And that also means Philly could afford to lose one of the next 4 games in Dallas. If they lose 1 game, they would still win the division due to that. So that's a big deal there. You look at Dallas and Philly, and they both got embarrassed by the 49ers. We both lost to a bad team, and we both lost to each other. End of the day, it's win or loss. It doesn't look what it looks like as far as, it's not like college football where it goes off, well, what do you look like? We'll rank you off that. Well, no, it's all played on the field. So, obviously, the Dallas Eagles game in Philly was a lot closer than the one in Dallas. But it looks the same on the paper. So, you look at it this way, they got the same record. They've lost to the same team. They've lost to each other, and they both lost to a bad team. So, you can throw it up how you want it, but they're still, Philly's in no worse or better shape than they were if they would have won the game. Their whole season was still ahead of them. The main thing is still the main thing. I still got trust in Jalen Hurts. I have trust that, in a make or break situation, our defense will win the game. In a make or break situation, if the defense has to go get a stop, they got it every time this year. Now, if the
defensive line needs to get a stop. I'm not putting no trust in the secondary as of now. I do like the Leon cornerbacks. Like Sidney Brown needs to start. Not start because Blankenship and Bayard are doing good. But Sidney Brown needs to be on that field a little more. His aggressiveness, his range on the field is nice. I really like it. And he's actually the only one out there tackling. I think like our tackling is. Oh my god. We need to move on. Almost a game of the year candidate. Rams, Baltimore. Lamar Jackson out there, MVP, masterclass, 3 TDs on the Ram, 316 in the air, 70 on the ground. Stafford was also balling out. Cooper Kupp game, made some big plays down in the end. It was a great game all around. Ended it in overtime, 3-and-out, and a punt return for the win. Ravens just showing again they top dogs. Rams are showing that they shouldn't be out of the picture, out of the conversation. What seed is the Rams right now?
Well, since the Packers lost, I believe they're still 7th seed?
They're one win out of the 7th seed or something.
Yeah, that Packers loss last night was huge for the Rams, so they're still right there where they want to be.
Yeah, so that Rams offense is going to give trouble to anybody. But what's y'all thoughts on it?
You got a curse? You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Before we get into this, I have to say something. with the Rams losing and the Packers losing, the New York Giants are one game out from playoff contention.
Tommy Cutlets, baby.
That means the Eagles will be in a dogfight against those Giants 2 times in the next 4 weeks. But we'll get into that later. I'll get into this game. Baltimore won a very tough game. That shows that Lamar Jackson has still got it. He's got, what it takes to win close games. We've heard that. But, this was a testament. I think the Rams are honestly, they're the best bad team of the bunch. I think if there was a team that could get in the playoffs and do damage, it's going to be those Rams just because they've already won a Super Bowl. They got Matthew Stafford. They got enough firepower on that offense to keep up with anybody. Obviously, their defense has been sus all year.
I wouldn't even call the Rams a bad team. I called them a bad team, but Stafford was also banged up in the year, injuries, the Cooper Cup. Honestly, they just had bad luck. So I wouldn't even call them a bad team, really.
Yeah, I honestly think they could beat, the 49ers if they had to on the road. I feel they're the team in the NFC that I would trust to go into San Francisco to beat the 49ers over, obviously over Dallas, and then sadly right now, the way the Eagles look, over Philly as well. So I think
honestly, real quick before you continue, I'm taking 49ers over anyone 10+ points, and I'm just being honest, except the Ravens as of right now. 10+ points over.
We'll see next week. Right now,
yeah.
I think they're beating them by 14 at least.
Jeez.
Really? You think the 49ers are beating the Ravens by?
I do. And here's
really?
Baltimore.
Here's why. If we're going to be honest, the Ravens' offense was not even that great this week. They just seemed out of sync this week. They were not connecting the passes that normally they do. Their line wasn't all there. The wideouts just seemed off a little bit. The only they got 2 touchdowns just because, honestly, the blown coverage. The Rams just made 2 crucial mistakes that they shouldn't have, and that allowed them to get 14 points. Rams would have not missed that. They had both those receivers open by 5 yards, so clearly wasn't paying attention or something. I don't know what happened to make it happen twice, but both those mistakes don't happen. The Rams win this game easily.
Okay, but let me ask you. When the receiver gets a blown coverage, what does the quarterback have to do? He has to throw the ball there. When OBJ came up ran up the middle, what did he do? He bust the cornerback's ass. Lamar still had to throw it. The throw was almost off too, but OBJ turned around. Bingo, it's the touchdown. At the end of the day, it's a touchdown. 70 yards on the ground, almost 400 yards.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson runs that offense, and you're going to say the offense didn't look that great? Hey.
Didn't look that. That's what I'm saying. The big plays were the blown coverage. They got about 100.
But Lamar still has to make the play. There's a bunch of blown coverages, and quarterbacks don't throw it in the open. Look at Zach Wilson. Garrett, you know how many times I've seen Garrett Wilson open in the end zone? He can't make the throw.
Okay, don't compare Lamar Jackson to Zach Wilson. That's just disrespectful.
I'm not comparing the 2 quarterbacks. I'm comparing the play style.
I would say Lamar Jackson is one of the top 5 quarterbacks right now.
He is,
and not just because of his feet.
And he made the plays.
He has eyes on the back of his head. Lamar Jackson does. He's hard to bring down, and he senses everybody around him. He's got that aura around him, and he's quick, boy. Let me tell you what, he's quick. Every single time he's getting 50 yards rushing at least. This week he got 70. Lamar Jackson himself was the reason that the Ravens offense looked decent. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, like you said, the OBJ breakthrough right through the middle. But besides that, it didn't look too pretty.
Dog, what you got?
For you, Jerry, I think you've been watching a little bit too much Undisputed. You sound like Keyshawn Johnson when you arguing on this bitch.
I don't actually watch Undisputed at all right now, so
you got that Keyshawn Johnson tone with you. But yeah, I ain't gonna say Baltimore doesn't, because you look at Baltimore. Lamar Jackson is their offense, so you can't come in and nitpick and say, well, they only are good because Lamar Jackson. Well, that's why their offense is good, that they got Lamar Jackson. Like you're saying, he's top 5 quarterback. So, I don't know if we're trying to just preview that Baltimore-San Francisco game, but I don't think there's any sort of reason to doubt that, Baltimore couldn't beat San Francisco.
If I'm being honest, I'm taking the under on that game. I don't think both offenses are going to do too well. I really put that much respect on the 49ers and the Ravens defense. to show out like Brock Purdy. You know, he probably going to – I mean, that C-Mac is too good. Y'all see that 70-yard breakaway he did?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
That 49ers is a good all-around team. But I'm going to put that faith in the Ravens defense. I think I'll put the under on 41.
Oh, yeah. Ravens defense has definitely been great all season as well. I did not shut them out like I probably should have. They're leading the league right now in sacks. Roquan Smith and made those tackles for the loss. And, I mean, Kylo Van Noe, the way that he's been playing as well. I mean, yeah, the Ravens defense is definitely deadly. I think it'll be one of Brock Purdy's biggest challenges. But don't get me wrong, 49ers defense is solid as well. I think Ravens do have the edge defensive-wise, but I think the offensive weapons that the 49ers have been displaying the past few weeks, they showed that they can consistently score points. The past 3 weeks, they lead the league in points by 7 points in second place. They're consistent. Brock Purdy's been playing great as well. And, yeah, like you said, Christian McCaffrey has been the best running back in the league, not even close the past few weeks.
He might damn near be the best wide receiver in the league, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing insanely. While he's healthy, I mean, he's always played insane. So.
Don't forget Debo had a massive class, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like you said, 49ers have many offensive weapons. Their defense is nothing to slouch about either. But, yeah, Ravens have the great defense as well. I just don't think their offense has been too remarkable the past few weeks. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's been enough to outclass the 49ers.
But that's also the identity. Like, Ravens offense ain't just going out there like splurge, like, oh my God, we gotta watch the Ravens this week. That boy Lamar gonna go score 50. We never said that. But to go up with in Baltimore, yeah, it's in Baltimore. Yeah, it's a home game. Come on, bro. They're gonna be lit.
It's gonna be Sunday night football. They're gonna flex that game out. I know they are. That's gonna be
they would have flexed it out already.
And I think
I'll go say I think they would have flexed it out already if they.
But they have up until the Tuesday before, and I think they probably – I don't know who they have set for that Sunday night game, unless it's like Dallas playing somebody, which I don't think it is. Then I could see them flexing that. They're wanting – obviously, they try to have their Sunday night game with probably the most views of the week.
It's on Monday. I mean, so it – yeah.
Is it Christmas Day?
Yeah, Christmas game.
Wow.
Because the Sunday night game is, it's nothing special. New England, Denver, and it's not even on national TV. So,
yeah, it's Christmas Eve. You know, I don't. Is this getting off topic? Because now we're talking about the 49ers, and we just talked about Dallas. And after being at that game on Sunday, seeing how crazy that crowd is, how good Dallas is in that stadium. They haven't lost since, I think, the beginning of the year. Last year, they're at home. They're 14 straight home wins. Do you think Dallas can beat the 49ers at home if Dallas ends up at the 1 seed? You think if the 49ers come into Dallas, that crowd's involved? Because I ain't seen anything like that before. And Dallas is playing pretty damn well. I hate to say it. Do you think they would beat the 49ers?
I think that's a big deal. Put them at the 1 seed.
Well, it is. Yeah, I'm just saying a hypothetical because we're talking about how good the 49ers are.
I think the 49ers are holding the 1 seed the rest of the season.
I think, like, if you go hypothetical off that question, if they played first time in the AT&T Stadium, it's a lot closer. But I think 49ers still win.
Really?
Right? So, but if you go second time, right, like if they were to face off again in the playoffs at AT&T, I think Dallas might take that, maybe. Right, you watch the film, you make the adjustments. Yeah, I think they might take that.
Do you think? I mean, right now, is there a team that can beat the 49ers that you would say, or is 49ers?
Like I said, I'm as of right now. I mean, call me crazy. I'm just taking anybody who faces 49ers besides the Ravens 10+ points. They shown it, they proven it. I'm taking the Niners.
Even another hypothetical.
Everyone, he said. Everyone. He knows what these 49ers are, Dalton. Why don't you yet?
Like, they really had 3 players over 100 yards. Ayuk, Debo, and C-Mac on the Seahawks. They just played the Seahawks 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
Here, let's go ahead and start talking about that game as well.
I really got hypotheticals now because if you really, you think the 49ers just that good where they could, let's.
For now.
For now, how they're playing now, do you think they could beat Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl though?
Who? The Niners?
Yeah, do you think?
You don't have to worry about.
I got like 10 teams beating.
Wide receivers are dropping everything.
I got like 10 teams beating the Chiefs in the
Super Bowl. You don't have to worry about Patrick Mahomes is throwing dimes every time. What's it matter if they're going to drop 40 passes?
Before we get to Patrick Mahomes, let's save that question. We just talked about the Seahawks. We got to talk about the Seahawks picture real quick. DK tweaking out. Gino might be out.
What did I say a couple weeks ago? If he could control his emotions, he'd be one of the best wide receivers in the league by far. He cannot control his emotions. This is consistent. At least 2 or 3 times a season, he has a problem with the cornerback to where he gets himself in trouble, and he's too important to get himself in trouble.
Did you see what Kyle Shanahan? They said that Kyle Shanahan planned to aggravate DK. Like it was in the meeting. They said whoever can aggravate DK, make him tweak out, they get a Christmas present. He literally made that a point in the locker room, and it worked. Like that's ridiculous.
You could go watch 20 minutes of highlights of DK fights.
Do you think he should be suspended, or do you think it's just like what you? Because he's a repeat offender, and it's kind of getting ridiculous. I don't think he should get suspended for football reasons, but when you talk about discipline, maybe getting a wake up call, you might have to knock a game off him.
I don't see how his team's not mad at him. If we're going to be honest, I don't think.
It's for as much as he fucks up, he also saves them too. Like he had that them big games. What was it, the week before? Like he does big things, and he's really their only.
He does a big thing about many times that he gets into a fight. Tyler Lockett was definitely the highlight wide receiver on the Seahawks this week. He had 6 receptions, 89 yards.
Oh yeah,
Metcalf had 2 receptions. He had 52 yards and a touchdown. Don't get me wrong, but Tyler Lockett was the show through there. Drew Lock, the first half he played great. The first half he was 11 for 16, 112 yards and the touchdown. Second half was not nearly as good. Honestly, I think the Seahawks could have made it a really close game if he would have played consistent in the second half as well.
If Gino's in that game, I got it within 1 score. Honestly.
But it's about. As well. I forgot. The Seahawks had their sacks as well. I won't discredit that. They had 3 sacks, which is pretty crazy against that 49ers O-line. Besides that, the 49ers really showed out again for another week consistently, just showing how dominant they are. Like y'all were saying, Deebo Samuel, after that 54-yard bomb from Purdy to get that touchdown, it just started his little run through of his 7 catches that he got, 150 yards. Christian McCaffrey as well, that 76-yarder that you brought up, the first play of the game. That just set the tone for the rest of the game. Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle as well played well. All their offensive weapons really showed out this week.
Also, shout out to Trent Williams, bro. Bro, you couldn't put 3 people on Trent and get past him.
100%. Plus, the 49ers defense as well. Nick Bosa's been he's trying to show up for MVP contender.
Wasn't MVP against Lane Johnson.
Yeah, Lane Johnson hasn't really been showing up the past few weeks. Lane Johnson, I would have said week 1 through 12. Lane Johnson, now week 13.
Are you watching the game? Well, absolutely not. You at the line as a whole, maybe, but Lane Johnson, stop it.
No. Lane Johnson has not been Lane Johnson the past.
I could look up his grade right now. It might be top 3 for the. You know what? Let me.
I have yet to see. I don't think I could count 1 sack on Jalen Hurts this year on the offensive line. If I'm counting all sacks on either play calling or Jalen Hurts, he's either holding the ball too damn long. I know Jason Kelce ain't getting beat. I know Lane Johnson ain't getting beat. And nobody can get around. Milata's too damn big. No one can get around him. So the only I mean, I could credit sacks towards, the coverage on the back end playing well and Jalen Hurts holding on to the ball too long, or maybe a bad play call because Brian Johnson wants to run fucking 4 verticals in 3rd and 2. But, I ain't going to say the offensive line for the Eagles has been bad, because now we're talking about the Eagles' offensive line. Now I'm getting pissed.
Late. All right, we'll bring it back to the 49ers then. We're going to talk about the downfall of the Eagles right now.
Honestly, move on to the Buffalo KC. Both quarterbacks didn't particularly play the greatest. I don't Chiefs didn't score till with the second half or late in the second quarter. I forgot. Either way,
offense that last drive at the end.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, and then it took a while to get going, but Josh Allen throwing some. I mean, he threw some Josh Allen plays. Like you look at him like, oh, okay, he threw a little side. Like, I remember he pump faked again, and then threw a sidearm under. I was like,
oh yeah.
But
typical though, he threw a pick in the second quarter right before half.
That running play. I was like, that was bad. Yeah, that was not good. But obviously, Chiefs receivers can't do much. They almost won the game off that crazy play. Travis Kelce that would have been a crazy ass highlight, right? He threw
perfect laterals. Don't sleep on those laterals, he was saying, and he showed it.
Well, it didn't count because Kadarius Toney was like 5 feet over the football, and then both Reed and Patrick Mahomes went a bitch to the media about a call that was obviously should have been called. Now I get it. I get the O-line. I mean the side judge telling the wide receivers back up. That happens all the time. But you seen how the formation was so bunched up. I mean, how you gonna hear that?
Yep.
So I mean, you can't blame that on the refs. That's all Toney. They shouldn't have made some excuse for that. That looked bad. And then he went up to Josh Allen in the post game, worst call ever. But bro, get over the game. Come on now. That's a quarterback handshake. You say good game, keep it moving. Bad showing by Mahomes. Chiefs have some problems all year. They don't look the same. They're gonna have to play a road game in the playoffs as of right now, and we've never seen Patrick Mahomes on the road. Y'all think he could pull it off?
Well, I think they'll at least they'll get one home game, and then obviously their what's it called? Their divisional game, I guess their road game would be Miami, as of right now. So I mean, I believe that they could beat Miami on the road, so I think that would be a big issue.
Okay, that's fine.
I think the team they wouldn't want to play on the road would be Buffalo, but I don't see a situation where that would happen. Which is, I don't know if you guys remember 2 weeks ago, I said Buffalo would make the playoffs and they would beat the Chiefs this week. So I'm still right on Buffalo getting in the playoffs. But back to what you were saying, I do think that the Chiefs would win on the road in the playoffs. I don't see Patrick Mahomes losing in the playoffs unless it's to Buffalo this year. Now, I'm just saying that because Joe Burrow's not playing.
Okay, but
don't get me wrong, their backup hasn't been playing bad either.
The thing about the Chiefs, though, is like they have a similar schedule to the end compared to the Broncos, and Broncos are only a game behind. But yeah, Chiefs will probably pull it out. But I don't know. Just don't sleep on the Broncos, right? They're creeping up. Like if Chiefs mess up one more game, Broncos could really catch them because they got the Raiders, I think, twice, and then they have Chargers. Prayers for Herbert out for the season. Also fire Brandon Staley. Which I mean, on paper, is the Chargers like the most disappointing team like ever, bro? Like. On paper, you thought they were like Super Bowl contenders, but you come out in the season, y'all 5-8. Like, what y'all thoughts on that? I mean, credit to the Broncos, but what y'all got?
Yeah, definitely credit to the Broncos. Like you said, Broncos have been playing well the past few weeks. They're definitely looking like some playoff contenders as of right now. Russell Wilson's been playing great. He's playing efficient football, which is what he's needed to play. 21 for 33 at 224 yards. He threw that one interception, but besides that was really his only mistake, I would argue. He still had a 91 passer rating on the day. Denver's pass rush defense as well just kind of embarrassed the Chargers. I mean, besides that scoop and score fumble that was called back, everything else looked great. They had 8 different Broncos registered for pressure against the defense. The only highlight I would say maybe was that who was that receiver that the Chargers picked up? The Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson. I mean, he played pretty well as well.
Finally.
Him and Josh Herbert. Finally started to show up together. He had 91 yards, averaging 23 yards a catch. He had that 57-yarder, which really was the only highlight of the entire Chargers offense. Austin Eckler has not been his usual self. To be fair, I feel like there really hasn't been as many gaps for him as there has been in the previous years. Don, what's your takeaway?
Yeah, I think you can agree with what Jerry said there as far as the Chargers being one of the most disappointing teams in the history. Defense is just so bad, and they lose a ton of close games, and I feel bad for Herbert just because a lot of it's not even on him. He hasn't had the best supporting cast on the defensive side, I'd say. Offensively, I mean, that team's been banged up all year. Johnson, he had his best game of the year as a first-round pick. Look at all the good first-round wide receivers from the draft, last year. And then you got Johnson that's just hasn't done shit yet. You just kind of feel bad for Herbert there. But, obviously, I don't think it's this year the Chargers get it together. I think there might be a coaching change there. And we'll see where they go from there on that. Not sure if you guys think they need a coaching change or what needs to be done there, but I don't know. I feel like the LA teams have always struggled. I don't know why, but obviously the Rams won a Super Bowl a few years ago. But I don't know if it's just maybe it's just
discipline, really. Like they have no discipline anywhere.
No.
I don't know.
Well, I also forgot that Justin Herbert got those 4 sacks on him on that last sack. He got hurt, and he's out for the rest of the season.
He's out for the year. Justin Herbert is?
Yep.
That's what. Yeah, I said praise out to Herbert. He was the finger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was in for the first half, and they had 4 sacks on him in just the first half. I mean,
we'll just add that to the list of shit that quarterbacks that got hurt this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna say praise to all the quarterbacks. That's a terrible year for injuries. Really, like if you put all those starting quarterbacks in, bro, this entire lineup looks different. Really, Bengals might be back. I mean, Bengals are still in the picture, but Jared Burrow, the Colts might not be as strong with a rookie quarterback in Richardson. You could argue Minshew is playing a little bit better than the first 2 games Richardson played. I mean, we might get a goddamn Tommy Cutlass in the playoffs, man. Freaking, let's go ahead and get into the Monday game. Actually, yeah, freaking Packers Giants. That boy Tommy DeVito in New York making game-winning plays. Wasn't a great showing, just the greatest showing at least by Love or DeVito. But I mean, DeVito just got thrown into the role and got 3 straight wins. You could argue these 3 wins are better than anything Daniel Jones put up this season. Jordan Love. I mean, Mr. December, Matt LaFleur finally got beat.
Hold on. Before we actually start getting into the game, did y'all see that clip of Tommy DeVito's agent on the field?
Inspector Gadget looking ass.
Motherfucker is in the mob. Let me tell you what. So not a single one of y'all say any disrespectful word toward Tommy DeVito.
Yeah,
safety. Man was walking around with a briefcase, top hat, full black suit. I mean,
hey, and you know what's crazy? I seen that exact stuff in Jersey. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I went to New York over the summer, I seen that stuff. In New York and Jersey.
I'd never seen nothing like that. Man was 25 years old, NFL agent. Nah.
Man, have you seen me with the fishes if you catch me on Twitter?
Shit going on. But back to the highlights of Tommy DeVito. Yeah, I mean, he was 17 for 21, so he actually did have a great week. I mean, he only had 158 yards passing, but with accuracy like that, what's it matter? He had 71 rushing yards as well, with that one passing, one rushing touchdown. On defense as well, Giants played pretty well. That
Kayvon
Kayvon.
Thibodeau's having a year, bro. Kayvon Thibodeau's real deal.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he had a sack, pass breakup, and then that forced fumble as well. I mean, he played great.
That was just what you see on the stat sheet. Like if you watch the game, Kayvon was all over that.
Oh yeah. Plus their rookie as well. That quarterback that they just got. What's his name?
Corner
Deontay Banks.
Hyatt.
Deontay Banks.
Oh, Banks. Okay.
Yeah, he finished the night with 12 tackles, which is pretty fucking crazy, getting double digit tackles.
Can we get him on the Eagles, please? But continue.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy DeVito had arguably the best quarterback rating of the week. He had 114 rating. Jordan Love didn't really play terrible. He threw that interception, which kind of brought the momentum down pretty bad for the Packers. But besides that, I mean, he was 25 for 39, 218 yards. Their rushing wasn't all there. I mean, A.J. Dillon didn't play terrible. And then they had Jaden Reed in, and Jaden Reed actually had those big yards. He had that 20-yarder, which really actually brought them back into the game, if we're going to be honest, plus that touchdown that he had. Plus on the outside, Jaden Reed, he got 10 passes as well. Kraft played pretty decent for 64 yards. He averaged 16 yards a catch. Besides that, I mean, Giants, Saquon Barkley. How do you stop Saquon Barkley? And who's that other running back that they've been putting in as well? Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robinson's been crazy as well. No one suspected anyone as great as Saquon Barkley on the Giants, but I mean, they've been giving him more handoffs than they have Barkley, which is good to finally get some weight off of Barkley's shoulders. There's no reason in today's NFL why you should have one sole running back that you rely on. Luckily, Robinson's showing up to the plate. So,
yeah, like at one point he went 3 straight weeks, 24, 21, then 36 attempts rushing. Like that. Come on now, you finna send him to the ER.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not sustainable in today's NFL, especially with the way the injuries have been this year. Something in the water. I don't know what's going on with the injuries this year, but
some in the water in New York in general.
I thought the Packers were looking great up until this week. I mean, they didn't even look terrible, but the Giants just really played impressively this week.
Like you said, Dalton, it's gonna be a dogfight for the Eagles. But what you got on the Giants' ceiling, I should say?
Yeah, just enough to piss off the Eagles fans, I would say. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I do think that they will give us a run for our money in both games because the Eagles cannot, we have not shown that we could blow anyone out or continue to keep our foot down. We can't play 4 complete quarters. We can give you a half. That could be first or second. This year it's been the second. Last year it was the first. So maybe we'll get a complete game, but I mean, you were looking at our schedule like, oh, damn, we get the Giants and we get the Cardinals. Like, we got an easy schedule ahead. No, the Eagles' schedule looks harder than it was fucking 5 weeks ago. So you look at it now and it's like, we're going to have to go in there, which it's unfortunate for us that the Giants are hot. So that means they got some confidence and they're working to get in the playoffs. The Eagles are, working to stay healthy and, keeping their eyes forward as far as getting to the Super Bowl again. And I think the last thing we want to do is have to play the Giants Week 18 at MetLife, with all the, knock on wood, with all the bad juju at that dumbass turf they have there. So I think their ceiling is, right at the piss off Eagles fans level.
I'm not gonna lie though, I still got the Packers making the playoffs over the Vikings, especially now that they just benched Josh Dobbs, got another quarterback in there. I'm just like, when you keep changing up the QB like that, it's never good. I think Vikings will fall out, Rams will go up. As of now, I'm gonna have the Seahawks out of the playoffs. Rams over Seahawks might be crazy. Wait, the Seahawks beat the Rams, right? Fuck. Did they play again?
Yeah, when does Geno Smith come back? Does he come back next week?
It's questionable for this week.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge reliance if we're gonna be honest. And if Seahawks lose this week, they drop pretty far down, and then they really have to fight to get back in playoff contention.
Yeah. We did miss upset. Bears beat the Lions. I mean, Lions have that division pretty much on lock.
Yeah, I mean everyone else in the divisions.
I mean, I just like the showing for Fields. I've been a Fields fan since he entered the league. Really, I mean, I don't like Ohio State, but Fields is a nice quarterback. I actually think if you keep him more, that nice tight end with Cole Kmet, I think they really got a solid like offense, and then they just got some new pieces. I know they shredded the defense, but like Montez Sweat, you add some to the draft maybe. Like, don't waste a pick on another quarterback, another rebuild year. Like, he feels even Eberflus. I seen a report that the players are starting to warm up to him. I'm like, the Bears look nice, right? Don't trade Justin Fields. Let's keep it going. Bears to be in the playoffs. I mean, not playoff, but they'll be in the picture for the playoff next year. Especially when you get up a good win on the Lions.
Yeah.
What do y'all got on Tampa Bay, NFC South? I mean, does anyone here have the NFC South winning the playoff game?
No, there's no.
Okay, just make sure.
No, it's a freebie. It's a fluke. That entire division is a fluke.
I think right now Eagles are lined up for the Tampa Bay, right?
Fuck, I'd rather play Tampa Bay than the Saints, though, because Eagles.
Yeah, but that's relying on also Eagles staying 5th seed and Tampa Bay staying 4th seed. So.
Yeah, much rather get a Tampa Bay. They're a fraud 4th seed.
Yeah, I mean, as it stands, it'll be the Eagles' benefit to stay the 5th seed because they either play Tampa Bay, Atlanta, or Saints. Whoever's 5th seed will either play the Tampa Bay, Atlanta, or Saints. So, ideally, if you're in the NFC, you're going to want the 5th seed if you're not the 1st seed. Otherwise, you might have a kind of a challenging game. I'm not sure the Lions are even that much scarier than the Vikings, if we're going to be honest, as of right now. Vikings haven't been, besides this week. This week was disappointing, don't get me wrong.
I mean, the Lion defense has been, I said it every time we talked about Lions. Like, that secondary gets torched. It's just like the Eagles. They can be had. Again, they have a strong front four. But in the offense is explosive, right? It wasn't explosive today, but I mean, the Lions just have that potential. If you can put up 30-plus points in the NFL, you can win a lot of games, even a playoff game. So,
yep.
I'm not gonna say they're not at more. What'd you say to the Vikings? I'm gonna say they're way better than the Vikings, really, just because the quarterback controversy you got in Minnesota, right? I know the weapons Minnesota has, Hawk, Jettas, but like, if you ain't got no experience, you just switch quarterback 3 times. I mean, obviously, got injured.
Well, also, I mean, Jared Goff hasn't really been playing consistent either, if we're going to be honest. If Jared Goff played his usual self like he was the first half of the season, then yeah, I would say Lions.
But what did he get traded from the Rams to Detroit? Because he wasn't always consistent. So, I mean, that goes with the territory. He won a Super Bowl, right? Then he had some years. So, I mean, that's just who Jared Goff's identity is.
I mean, luckily they have Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery in the running.
That duo is nasty.
Well, they're both averaging 60-plus yards.
Nasty.
So they got their running game on lock. St. Brown is playing pretty well as well. Laporta's been playing pretty well as well for the Lions. But yeah, I mean, DJ Moore.
Oh yeah, shout out to Laporta, man. Laporta is that guy. I like watching him. He's fun.
Definitely a sleeper.
Dalton, what you got?
You talking about just for the NFC playoff picture overall?
Yeah. Well, actually, hold on. Before we get back into that, freaking y'all watch that Titans Dolphins, bro? It was literally 13-13 with like 7 minutes left, and then it was just chaos from that point on. But I ain't never seen nothing like that.
It's crazy. The Titans win that game, but they tried to give that damn game to Miami so many times. The running back, the pitch play, they're in the fourth quarter, 6 minutes left. They're down by 7. Pitch the ball. Miami gets the ball back. I mean, Miami should have won that game convincingly. But, this is just one thing to let a bad team stick around, or I guess a young team.
It also shows why Tyreek Hill is so important, right? He get out the game, can't get nothing going.
And then he got back in the damn game.
Back in the game.
after, apparently, because his wife texted him and told him to get back in there.
Get your ass back in there, boy.
God damn, she wanted that incentive check, that's for sure.
But honestly, hey, shout out to D Hop and Will Levis. That convo was nasty.
Yep.
Getting the job done. Good comeback by Levis. See, I like Levis. I do. Y'all got to rock with Levis in Tennessee. I don't know if D Hop will stay, right? I think he wants to go to contender. Someone should have got him in the offseason. Like D Hop on the Chiefs would do wonders right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's the Titans at? They're not going to make it, right?
Mediocre.
Yeah.
No, the Titans aren't looking like they're going to make it right now.
Yeah,
they're in the last of their division, 2 games behind Houston and Colts. Yeah, it looks like they're not going to make it.
But then there's also push like Miami is almost like a fraud second seed just because of like who are their most impressive wins right now?
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong.
I guess the Broncos, right? 70 points on the Broncos. So what?
I don't think they've beaten a single team over 0.5.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Miami. They're still 9-4. Got to respect that. Still got to respect the offense, but it's just they can be had, right? I mean,
they can be had.
You could almost say they're similar to the Eagles, like, and also I think the Dolphins' starting center got hurt. Is that right? He's out for the season. Yeah, he's out for the season. That's big. So yeah, I mean, Dolphins might fall down even some more.
They got some tough games. They got Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills,
and Zach Wilson getting hot on the Jets. Hey, Zach Wilson, baby. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and start talking about that as well.
Yeah, Zach Wilson out there. Y'all see that? He went over to the sideline, crossbody across the field. Boom, right there for the first. Yeah, Zach Wilson's a baller, man. Somebody needs him. The Jets don't. Put that boy Zach on Zach on the Saints would do wonders. Oh, yeah. I actually need Jameis Winston to play for the Saints because y'all see what Derek Carr said? He broke like 3 ribs during the season still playing. That's why he's playing so damn bad. So he's scared of getting hit. So, yeah, put Jameis in, let Derek Carr heal. Because I don't know how you play 3 fractured or broken. Come on now, bro. But, yeah, Zach Wilson's out there balling. C.J. Stroud did not show up. I say it was a story more of the Jets defense shutting them out, really. Jets defense showing why they were ranked, top 10 in the beginning of the season. They're just not going to make the playoffs. But I just think this is more of a Zach Wilson tour. Can you beat a guy? Can you, with a little bit of discipline? Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is coming back next year. But, I mean, what's your takeaway from the game?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Zach Wilson played great this week. He had 117 rating, 27 for 36, didn't throw any interceptions. Had some questionable in the pocket plays. I don't know if y'all saw some of the sacks that he got, but
yeah, I seen him. I seen him. But that comes with the territory. We know this.
Yeah, it'll come with experience over time and just learning. But I mean, besides that, like you were saying, he played a great game. He averaged 8.1 yards as one attempt. But we're also going to give a shout out to both sides of the defense. Jets defense had Quinn Williams had the sack and that knockdown, which sucks in CJ Stroud because I wish he wouldn't have got that concussion. I'm afraid he's going to be out for at least a couple weeks. At least he should be, just to protect that young talent, make sure nothing's wrong with him, because he's definitely one of the big up-and-coming quarterbacks of this league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Texans are even going to make the playoffs now behind Davis Willis. He was their quarterback.
You think the Colts make it in over them?
You think who? I'm sorry.
Oh well, I guess the Colts and the Texans can miss, and then Broncos take.
The Colts are in it right now over Houston.
I know, but you think the Colts stay over Houston?
I think so. I don't think Davis Mills has what it takes, and the Texans were relying on C.J. Stroud playing great every single week, which he was. Now that C.J. Stroud's out, Davis Mills has shown last year that he was definitely not the quarterback that the Texans needed or should have had.
But I have no faith in the Steelers. I really think that the Colts and the Texans could make it in.
Oh, Colts and Steelers play on Saturday.
Oh, my fault. No, I lied. No, I think one of them can make it in, but then the Broncos. Yeah. I forgot Broncos are still out. But, yeah, I think Steelers are falling out. I'll take Texans over the Colts, and then I'll take the Broncos in there.
What about you? Got Buffalo in too?
It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. That Cowboys game, they lose against the Cowboys.
Come on, now we gotta have faith the Bills can beat the Cowboys, man. Come on, we need it.
I mean, Josh Allen's gonna ball. I feel like Josh Allen's gonna go for 250 or something like that.
Let's see with that.
I think Buffalo's going to get that 6th seed. I think Colts are going to stay the 7th. And I think Browns are going to hold that 5th seed. The way that
Yeah, Browns. I think Browns will hold it. Yeah, Browns will definitely hold it. Damn, the Jags might fall out too, though. Jags have been looking kind of iffy. Might fall down a little bit.
Well, I still think that they're going to win their division. I don't think the Colts are still
they'll win the division.
Past the Jags, and I mean, Houston's now out of it, and Titans are too far below to even contest. I think Jags are secure at their 4th seed.
Honestly, I think Browns might take the 4th seed. I mean, it wouldn't matter. They're going to face each other. But yeah.
I mean, Browns can't take the 4th seed unless. Yeah, no, Browns can't take the 4th seed.
No,
they can't.
Baltimore's the 1st. Yeah, no, Baltimore's 1st. Seed.
Yeah, I keep forgetting the whole fucking AFC North in that hole.
Yep.
Dang, where's Joe Burrow at, man? He would have made that real interesting.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, at this point, it's a battle. There's the 6th and 7th seed is the battle in AFC. Because I think Baltimore stays 1st. I think Miami either stays 2nd or 3rd. I think Kansas City is going to get that either that 2nd or 3rd. Besides the Dolphins, Jacksonville I think is going to stay there 4th. I think Cleveland has 6th or 5th in solid. The battle for 6th and 7th, I think it's going to be between the Colts, the Bills, and the Broncos. Bengals might have a shot. I think not as big of a shot as those other 3 teams, but I think Bengals have a shot in there as well.
Dalton, what you got?
I say AFC. We'll go 5 seed. I'm going to give that one to Cincinnati. 6 seed, we'll go Buffalo. I think Buffalo wins out for the rest of the year. Obviously, I got them beating the Cowboys, and I also have them beating Miami for their final game of the year later. And then 7 seed. This is where it gets tough. I don't think Pittsburgh gets in. So that leaves Houston or the Colts.
They face the Bengals next week, by the way. Oh, no, I mean, they just lost. I mean, they face the Titans.
Yeah. I want to put Colts in over the Texans because they had the head-to-head win over them a few weeks ago. I'm going to give that 7th seed to the Colts. So I'll go, Cincinnati, Buffalo, and Indianapolis there for their wild card teams.
Really? Let me tell you the rest of the Bengals schedule for the rest of the year, and let me tell you the Browns schedule for the rest of the year, and you tell me again if you think the Bengals are going to beat out. Keep in mind, Bengals are still one game
behind. I don't have the Bengals in there, but
games the rest of the year. Bengals still have the Vikings to play, which I think they beat.
Yep.
They still have the Steelers to play, which I still think they beat. They have the Chiefs to play after. I think they're losing that game, if I'm going to be honest.
Not the way Jake Brown is playing. He's going to tear them up.
And I mean, you're counting out the Chiefs at this point? Because if the
I'm
Chiefs
not counting them out, but Jake Browning, put respect on it. They still have a good offense. If Jake Browning is playing good quarterback, you still have all the offense or weapons that Joe Burrow had. And what did Joe Burrow do against the Chiefs? Like, come on now.
Okay, well, right now, if what you're saying, if the Chiefs lose like the way that you're projecting them to lose, then Denver's going to take that 3rd seed from the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's why I said watch out on the Broncos. I said that earlier. Watch out. They might overtake them.
So at this point, the way that Chiefs have been playing, do you think they're making the playoffs?
Playoffs for sure. Like they'll scratch. If they find themselves out of the playoff picture or any predictions with that, they're gonna scratch and claw. Like that's just who the Chiefs are, right? They win in unconventional ways.
Kansas City, they're still in the run for the 1 seed. So
Kansas City. Okay, you think Kansas City's better than Baltimore Ravens?
I'm just saying that they're in the running for the 1 seed. You look at it, the Chiefs went out. Let's say the Chiefs went out. Baltimore, you say they lose. Let's say they lose the 49ers. They just got to lose one more. You know, if Indianapolis or if Kansas City wins out, Baltimore loses 2 games, they're going to be the 1 seed there in Kansas City. And I mean, if you're going to count the 49ers as an L for Baltimore, What does the rest of their schedule look like?
If the 49ers lose, it'll knock them down to the the second seed. Then if Dallas and Eagles both win this next week, Dallas will be first seed. Eagles would move. Or no, I'm sorry. Eagles would stay at fifth seed.
Yeah. I'll talk about the Ravens as far as, because we're talking about the Chiefs being the 1 seed in the AFC. And I see, let's say if the Chiefs win out, hypothetically, and you look at the Ravens got to play Jaguars, 49ers, Dolphins, Steelers. That's probably the 4 hardest stretch of any of the remaining teams in the league right now. Let's say if you're counting the 49ers as an L, they can lose Sunday night in Jacksonville. They got a game versus the Dolphins, which will be a shootout, and then they got a rivalry game against the Steelers. So
Do you see the Dolphins actually beating the Ravens though?
You said who beating the Ravens?
I don't see the Dolphins beating the Ravens at all.
Oh, absolutely not. What the hell? That's not even a thought.
That's what I'm saying. I think maybe the Ravens lose to the 49ers, but I think besides that, Ravens win out.
You think they beat Jacksonville on Sunday night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Think so?
Yeah. T-Law has been like 50-50 on these weeks.
Yeah, they've been iffy the last few weeks.
Well, that's going to be my hot take of the week, that Jacksonville wins that game at home on Sunday night against Baltimore.
I mean, T-Law has every ability in the world to win that game. Christian Kirk.
Doug Peterson, brother. Come on now.
Yeah, but if Jags win that game, they might jump up to the second because Dolphins are going to lose to the Bills.
Dolphins going to be –
because Jags have the Bucks, Panthers, and Titans right after the Ravens, right? That Titans might be tough. Titans played everyone tough, but I mean, Jags can really jump up there if you think about it.
We still got a few more games to go over. We'll discuss at the end who we all three think is making the playoffs. Have it set, locked in before we end it off. Let's go back over. I mean, Browns, Jaguars. We're just about to talk about those teams.
Joe Flacco, baby.
Joe Flacco. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he was bad last week. This week he wasn't terrible. He was 26 for 45. He threw for 311 yards. Their O-line is solid. Only allowed 1 sack this week, which, I mean, it's the Browns. As long as their quarterback is okay, average, then the Browns are going to win the game. Their running game as well. I mean, it's how are you going to stop everything? They keep on rotating out running backs extremely wisely. With Jerome Ford, he's been taking a lot more carries now, actually more than Kareem Hunt, surprisingly. And it's been working out well. He's averaging over 4 yards a carry. Plus that 26-yarder as well really showed out. It kind of set that whole drive in place, which is great. Plus the Njoku. I don't want to butcher that. Njoku?
Njoku.
Njoku.
Something like that. I think it's Njoku.
Yeah, he had the 91 yards. He was Joe Flacco's favorite this week, as well as Amari Cooper. He had the 77 yards. Their wideouts have been consistent as well, consistently great, the Browns this year, as well as David Bell caught some. Plus, they had some Gerard Ford catching 5 as well this week. So the Browns, like I've been saying, we're going to win the Super Bowl if Deshaun Watson did not get hurt. They've been a great team all year offensively. Okay, let me recall that. Running game, they've been a great team all year. Passing, it depends on whoever they have a quarterback spot. Just depends on how they want to play this week. But the defense have been consistent all week. If we're going to be honest, even though they won this game, I do feel as though it was closer than it should have been for the Browns to win. Trevor Lawrence played a pretty bad game. If we're going to be honest, he threw 3 interceptions. They really did use him a lot, though. They had him throwing 50 times this week, so I know his shoulder's got some ice on it right now.
Well, he threw 50 times because he can't run. I mean, he just had a high ankle sprain. I had the same injury and was back up in 2 weeks. This man said, same week, we're going to put you out there. I'm surprised he ain't break it or something. Like, what are we talking about?
And as well, A.T. Jr. hasn't been playing well at all the past few weeks. He's been inconsistent. One of the worst running backs, arguably, right now the past few weeks.
Same with Eckler.
because he was, I would say, at least a top 10 running back the first 6 weeks in last season. Jaguars' flaws have been showing up the past few weeks, and it's disappointing, if we're going to be honest.
But
I was a fan of the
this has
Jaguars.
actually been kind of the story for the Jags because when they were they were like 6-2 or 6-3, right, early in the season, and everybody said they were frauds because of that, how the analytics was showing how they were playing on the field. Now we're a couple weeks later, we're still saying the same things. No one really has the highest faith in the Jags, but the Jags are still a winning team. I mean, it's just our identity right now.
I mean, even so, one could even argue that Ingram Ridley duo that they have is pretty deadly. One of the top 3 wide receiver duos out there right now. I'd definitely say it's one of the sleeper picks. Plus, Zay Jones has been one of Lawrence's favorite wide receivers as well, and he's been playing not as well. I mean, he's nothing special, I would say, right now, but he's definitely getting more attention, and hopefully it comes well his way. But Parker Washington, that rookie that they had, the Jaguars have, I mean, that fumble that he had after that catch just – I know he was disappointed after that one because that was really what was the turning tide of the game. So I felt bad for him 100%. The game could have gone either way after that. So it was lucky that the Browns came through with it. Plus, I mean, Dustin Hopkins, that kicker that they have on the Browns, I'm pretty sure he's the highest rated kicker right now in the league. He's hasn't missed any
Over
of them.
Aubrey, are you sure?
I'm pretty sure he hasn't missed any this year. Dustin Hopkins? Yeah, I don't think he's missed any this year.
Wait, missed, but is it missed or rating? You said rating, and I'm like, I don't know how the rating will be higher than Aubrey's when he has the most 50 yarders this season.
I'm not sure. Here, Dalton, I'll let you get into it while I look up some stats.
Where did boy go? This man that left the office?
This man that left the office. All right, Jared, what's your picks on the week?
I mean, here's the thing. Brown defense is solid, but it can be had. And what I mean by be had is that really, here's the thing. This is why I put so much respect on Stafford. He sliced up Jim Schwartz defense and the McDonald's defense, Ravens and Browns. I'm like, that's why I'm putting so much respect on Stafford right now. But that Brown defense, I mean, it's either the shining light on that team or it's an afterthought. Most of the season, though, it's been the shining light for sure. I mean, they can get a lot of turnovers and sacks. Damn, they're looking like the Eagles from last year, right? I mean, we almost that sack record. I don't know. I'm gonna go down on the Jets. Stock is down on the Jags. My fault. Stock is down on the Jags.
Yeah.
Stock is up on the Browns. Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I mean, if we're to be honest, like you were saying, it kind of was the Browns' defense getting exposed this week. Yeah. Even though they got the W through this week, there's no reason why they should have allowed 27 points to the Jaguars with the way that they were playing. I mean, they still had the 3 interceptions, but how are you still going to allow 27 points on 3 interceptions? I'm pretty sure, and if they didn't have those interceptions, yeah, Jags punted the ball once or twice, it looks like, so they scored on every other drive, which if you're the Browns defense, you just can't allow that.
Dalton, you left the office there for a bit. Ain't nobody clock you out. What the hell?
My bad.
Talk about Browns Jags.
Say it again.
Brown Jags. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm going to say you're saying stock is up on Browns and stock down on Jags.
Well, I guess stock is the same because they're going to hold that spot. So I guess I'll just keep them there.
Yeah, I like Jacksonville over Cleveland just from the idea that I like Doug Peterson. I trust Trevor Lawrence.
But Doug Peterson can't throw the ball.
Yeah, but he's going to have the correct scheme. I believe that coaching is going to be the difference there. I think, the team that's upcoming in the AFC, at least the most, the brightest future, I like Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson duo.
I like Josh Allen on that defense, but if you let a 38-year-old score 31 points on you, you gotta be feeling shitty. Like, come on now.
All right, we'll fast forward to the last game that probably matters this week: the Buccaneers Falcons. The only reason it matters is because they're both in the same division and they're both fighting for that playoff spot. Even though none of those teams are going to win a playoff game, it'd look cool to say you made the playoffs.
This is the mid-off bowl. This is their Super Bowl, really. They can go off the season and say, "Yeah, we were the best in the division." Hell yeah!
I say whoever wins that division plays whoever wins the CFB.
Put them in the Cotton Bowl.
I mean, the highlight of that Buccaneers-Falcons game was Drake London. Dude was, I would argue, the best wide receiver of the week. He had 172
I just wonder
yards.
why he wasn't getting used. He didn't get used. I mean, he did last year, but it wasn't to the extent. And he's getting like he blows some coverages up, right?
Yeah, and I mean the way he had those 3 or 4 catches, which is just unbelievable. Snagged him in front. I mean, especially the one that was thrown basically to the fucking corner, and dude stole it from his hands. Drake London was definitely the highlight of the week. I would say.
He's angry, like he said, "Give me the ball more." He wants the ball. He said, "Mike Evans." He saw Mike Evans across the field and was like, "I'm going to be the next one." So that's what I'm thinking.
Yep. Yeah. Unfortunately, they still have Desmond Ridder as their quarterback, and he's going to make those mistakes.
What's the draft pick right now? The Falcons.
You said what? I'm sorry.
That draft pick, because are they going to draft the quarterback, or it's Desmond Ridder starting, or?
I'm going to trade for Justin Fields.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the way that Desmond Ridder's been playing, he's not a franchise by any means. He's a available option, which they have right now. It was definitely a pickup that they should not have made. They definitely wasted that draft pick. I mean, he played. He threw for 26 for 40 of the day. Still had 350 yards, but I mean, just the way that the Falcons were looking, you would not have guessed that by any means. Especially with the way that he threw it right to Davis's chest. He threw that pick 6. It was not very well. Luckily, they still did have Bijan Robinson, which the rushing was not there, which is surprising. If we're going to be honest, it's not like the Bucs rushing defense has been anything remarkable this year, but I mean, they held Bijan. They watched tape. Bijan Robinson was held to 34 yards, which is, I think, his season low so far. They did make adjustments, which is nice. They put him on the outside, and he got 5 catches. He had 55 yards receiving, which is, I guess, a highlight for his week. Besides that, Kyle Pitts played okay. If we're going to look at the Buccaneers, it was nothing special either. Baker Mayfield didn't throw an interception this week, which is the highlight, I would say, of the Buccaneers offense this week. They shut out what needed to happen. Of course, Godwin is always a deadly threat as well. He was my sleeper pick last year in fantasy. And he shows out when he needs to, and he showed out this week. Rashad White played excellent as well. They gave him 25 carries, which is not going to be sustainable by any means. They're going to have to figure out their running game. He's still at 100 yards this week, and he's been playing impressive. But we've seen what happens whenever you have one lone running back. It never ends pretty. So they're going to have to definitely make some adjustments back there. Dalton, what you have on this week?
Yeah, I'm happy to see Tampa Bay will secure the dub. Obviously, I picked Tampa Bay to win the division. We talk about the NFC South every week, and we go back and forth between the three-headed monster of the NFC South of the 3 probably best teams in the league: Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and the Saints.
Ain't no monster over there.
Anyways, yeah. Like I said, I mean, you just fucking throw a name in a hat and figure out which team's going to win this division, because it could be any of the 3 bad teams. Obviously, I've been riding with Tampa, but I don't have any sort of faith in them whatsoever at this point. They have not shown they could beat Atlanta and Desmond Ridder, he's good for that one or two big turnovers in the game that you just can't have. He has proved it week in and week out this year that he can provide that good turnover to completely fuck the game over. So shout out to him. So I could troll about this division all day if you want me to. I enjoy it. They continue to throw Derek Carr out there for the Saints. I love that. I don't know. I love this division right now because we can talk about just the dumb shit that each team does. So.
I mean, that about wraps up the good games of this week. There are some other games, but they weren't really impactful on any playoff decisions. I guess now we'll just jump into who do we think is making the playoffs as of this week. Jeremiah, who do you think is going to the NFC playoffs this year?
Niners.
We'll start with first seed. Who you having as first seed?
Niners.
First seed Niners. What about second, third, fourth?
Second Eagles.
Okay. I feel like that's
third will be.
I feel like it's 50-50 at this point.
Third will be. I'm on the fence.
On the fence between who? I don't see there's any. I think the Lions have third spot secured.
Lions just don't give me a lot of faith.
Yeah, but who?
Yeah, I'll give them. Yeah.
I don't see Minnesota or Green Bay taking it from them, and I don't see Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Saints, whoever happens to make it, and the NFC South division. I don't see them having any sort of.
This is my pick, motherfucker. No.
Okay, Skip Bayless, my turn.
Yeah, I'll go third on the Lions. Fourth, I'm gonna say the.
Go ahead, pick them Buccaneers, brother. Come on now.
Fuck the Bucs, man. I guess if we're going off that division, yeah, you got to put the. Yeah, okay, 4 Bucs and then 5 Rams.
5 Ravens, okay. Okay, Rams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. No.
6 and
Hold
7.
Pause,
yeah, we'll let you.
Pause. Time. I think mathematically, if the Eagles are the 2 seed, Dallas would have to be the 5 seed. I think at this point, I'll have to look, but.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting. I didn't put Dallas as 3. Yeah, so yeah, they would have to be 5. 6 though is Rams. Yeah, I forgot all about Cowboys. Yeah, 6 though is Rams. 7 is You know what? Let's have a Jordan Love in the playoffs, man.
Really?
Yeah. Why not? Is it a playoff without the Packers?
This year it is. Shit. They don't have Aaron Rodgers it is. No, Packers really aren't that bad, if we're gonna be honest. They've been making adjustments that they needed.
I like Jordan Love's development.
Yeah.
You learn from one of the best throwers in football ever, possibly number 1. I mean, you're bound to get some greatness out of it, right?
I mean, yeah, you're gonna need to, and these past few weeks have been looking on the upside. But I mean, even with this loss this week, it's not like they played terrible football by any means.
And what did Big Mikey tell us, man? Just have faith. Have faith, man.
All right, Dalton.
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah, I'm hitting me with it.
1 seed. Give me them Eagles, baby. Give me them Eagles.
Wow.
And 2 seed, San Fran. 3 seed, Detroit. 4 seed, Tampa. 5 seed, Dallas. 6 seed, give me LA. And 7 seed, give me the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields.
Did their playoff jump? It's like 30% right now.
Wow.
Give me the Bears.
The Bears.
I mean, I'm not mad at that. I'm really not, but it's just like.
No, the way that you have the Bears, and who else did you say? The Los Angeles Chargers?
The Rams.
Oh, Los Angeles Rams.
Look at this. The Bears are a game out, and the Bears have the Carolina's picks for next year, so they own the number 1 pick of next year and the number 5 pick.
Yeah.
So they're not playing for draft position. They've already locked in the 1 seed, and they can go to the playoffs. Why not go to
Here's
the
my
playoffs?
thing. Actually, you know what? No, let me see. So if they go 1, 2, damn, yeah, they would make it if they won out.
And their schedule's easy. I mean, I think their toughest game, they got to play Cleveland. They got a game against the Cardinals. Who else they got? I want to say they played the Vikings again.
But they absolutely have to beat the Falcons or they're
Falcons and Green Bay. So I'm going to assume that game against Green Bay is probably going to be for the final seed for the playoffs, the 7th seed.
No, they have but they have like a 60% chance if they win the next 3 and go to the Packers.
No.
Now, here's what the NFC is going to be. Y'all just
You had the Browns in the Super Bowl. I don't trust this
can't
shit.
see it. No, we'll talk about the AFC in a second. So NFC, 49ers are definitely going to come out on first seed. There's no question about it as of right now. I think for Eagles' sake, Dallas better get that 2nd seed. I think right now it'd be more beneficial being the 5th seed than the 2nd seed, only because you either play Tampa Bay, you play the 3-headed dragon, as Dalton said, if you're a 5th seed. Whereas if you're the 2nd seed, you play Green Bay, which is better.
You're playing Justin Fields, brother, if you're the 2nd seed. Good luck.
Lions have 3rd seed locked down. I think Tampa Bay has 4th seed locked down as well. 5th seed, that means Eagles have to be 5th seed if I put Dallas at 2nd seed. I think Vikings are going to still pull out that 6th seed, even after the embarrassing week they've had the last week and the week before. Their defense has shown up, even though their offense hasn't. But then, yeah, like you said, I think Jordan Love in the playoff is definitely doable, and I think I got Jordan Love at that 7th seed. I don't think the Bears have it this year, and I think Jordan Love's a little bit more efficient than Fields is right now. I think Packers gonna make that 7th.
So real quick, the Packers, if they went out, Bears is 40%. Even if they or going into that last game against the Bears, yeah, Bears to be at 40%, Packers to be up.
What day do Vikings and Green Bay play again? Surely they play again, don't they?
They play weeks. Is it 17? 17. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that game right there is probably going to be a playoff decider game right there. Whoever wins that game.
Hold up. If they win and then whoa. Yeah, Packers. Yeah, I mean the Bears have a real shot.
Who the Bears?
I don't know if they want to make the playoffs, like for the Bears' sake, but like just looking at how they went out, and yeah, they have a real shot. Okay. And then who else you had?
I had Philly at 5th. I had Vikings at 6th and Green Bay at 7th.
You still have the Vikings up? How? How?
I said just because purely of their defense, honestly. I know their offense hasn't been showing up, but their defense has been playing great the past few weeks. I'd say top 5 defenses the past few weeks. But yeah, Dobbs is going to have to figure something out. I don't care what engineering degree you got. You're going to have to figure out some angles to throw that ball a little bit better than you have been throwing it, boy.
Well, he's not even the starter this week. They already put him on his ass on the bench, which is crazy to think about. But
all right, who y'all got in his 1st seed in the AFC?
Raiders. No, I'm playing. Obviously, Baltimore, L-Jack, number 8. We're gonna roll with
I don't
them.
even think that's questionable. Don't you arguing that? Who are you arguing to be 1st seed?
He thinks the Chiefs, bro. He thinks the Chiefs might pull up.
Really?
Chiefs.
Yeah. Right now. You see Baltimore Ravens losing two games?
Yeah, I picked them to lose the next 2 games. I picked them to lose to Jacksonville, and I got them losing to the 49ers as well.
Oh, wow. That's a disrespect, having them lose to Jacksonville.
I mean, it's not the most terrible pick, but yeah, they're hot, bro. Like, Nah, they're
All
high.
right, second seed. I'm getting Miami at second seed. I think they're going to hold it.
I think Chiefs will take second. I think Miami's gonna lose 2 more games.
Dalton?
Second seed will be Baltimore.
Hmm.
I got Kansas City at the 1.
Does that mean you have Dolphins at third seed?
Bills,
No,
Cowboys.
I got Buffalo.
You got Buffalo passing Dolphins.
Yep. They
Really?
play. So I look at it this way. We got Miami will lose to Dallas, and Miami will lose to the Bills again.
Mm-hmm.
Bills already beat them earlier in the year, so the Bills would hold the tiebreaker over Miami. So, and I got Bills winning out.
Bills would have to win out, and both those losses would have to happen for the Bills to pass Miami.
So really, Miami would have to lose to either Baltimore or Dallas.
They would have to lose both those games.
Or one of those games, because they can be tied. Because they got a 2-game. They're 2 games up on Buffalo, but Buffalo will hold the tiebreaker if Buffalo wins out, since they'd have 2 wins over Miami.
Yeah, you said if, so that means they would have to win both times.
Well, yeah, Buffalo would have to beat Miami. So Miami would have to lose to Buffalo and then either lose to Baltimore or Dallas. You got to at least count one of those as an L for Miami.
Yeah, I would argue Dolphins definitely had the hardest schedule playing out this year.
Because, I mean, you guys said that you don't think that Miami can beat Baltimore, right?
No.
No.
I mean, and you guys say that there is a possibility that Miami beats Dallas, correct?
Not the way that it's been.
It's in Miami.
Even so, not the way that it's been.
So we'll say they lose 2 games, and then they would lose to Buffalo too. I'm assuming that's just me saying, because I'm saying that Buffalo would beat them in the last game. That put Buffalo up 3 seed for me.
Okay, I could see now that we're talking out the schedules, I could definitely see what you're saying. I still think Ravens could keep the 1 seed. I could, if that's the case, the Ravens keep 1 seed, Chiefs being 2nd seed, and yeah, I could see the Bills coming up and sneaking that 3rd seed.
Very possible. Yep, I'm looking at it now.
I think Jacksonville does hold that 4th seed. Even though the Colts are only a game behind, I still think Jacksonville. Is just playing a little bit better than the Colts. We're gonna be honest.
I'll go Jags. Yep.
I go Jags.
For that 5th seed, though, I think the Browns are holding that 5th seed.
Brown to lock. Yep. 6.
I guess I'm the only one that doesn't have the Browns in the playoffs.
Wait,
looks like.
Who do you have playing over the Browns?
Well, it'd be since Buffalo's winning the division.
Oh, you still have Cincy?
I still got Cincy in there. Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
This man.
I get it. I told you to pick Jake Browning for fantasy, but don't hop on that damn horse right off into the sunset. Come on now. The real JB is Joe Burrow. He not leading them to the. Come on.
What about this? I'll still give you the credit, and we'll just say Bengals make it still. Browns could still stay 5th seed, and Bengals could still make the playoffs. Because right now, Colts barely have the advantage only because they won more in the division than the Bengals have. But if Bengals win one more game,
you're forgetting the Broncos if you put Cincy in.
No, because I don't think Steelers or Colts make it. If we're going to be honest, I think Cincy's going to come in and steal that 7th seed spot from the Colts, and I think Broncos going to secure that 6th seed.
Yeah, I have Broncos 6 seed, but I have the Colts at 7.
I think the way that surprisingly, Browning played efficient. He's been playing great.
He is playing great.
I think Browning's going to come through and steal it from the Colts. Dalton, what you have?
Fuck. This shit's been tough. This whole year. Like I said, I got Colts at 7, and then Fuck, I hate that. I'm not putting Pittsburgh in there whatsoever.
Don't discredit the Browns.
Nobody wants Pittsburgh.
You're gonna have to put the Browns at 6.
It's
You're putting Bengals
6.
at 6.
No, because 5 is gonna be Miami, 6 is Cincy, 7 is Indianapolis. The Browns are out, damn it.
You said who's 5? Who's your 5, 6, 7?
Miami, Cincy, Colts.
I'm gonna run over the tape. I'm gonna put this on paper. I'm gonna mark all this shit, and then we're gonna come back to it next week because that's an outrageous ass take.
That's an outrageous ass.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna paper it up. We got our AFC NFC picture. Covered all the games.
Wait, don't you have a whiteboard behind you?
Who?
You have a whiteboard behind you?
Me?
Yeah.
What the hell you see? I got a white wall. I thought it looks like Dalton has a whiteboard behind him.
Dalton, you got a whiteboard?
No. I got a wall. Think Tony will get mad?
It's not our house.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, good week in football. We got the bowl games this week, right? College football.
Mm-hmm.
Which ones do we got here?
We haven't been on here since the playoff rankings, have we?
No, we have not.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the big.
We actually didn't cover the ranking because they came out that Sunday.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if we're gonna be honest, it's disappointing for Florida State being an undefeated team not making the playoffs.
You know what?
On all accounts, Alabama's the better team.
It's in the past for Florida State, right? They didn't get chosen. Let's keep it moving, all right? It's Florida State, Ohio State. Is that the bowl? Or what is it? Florida State and who?
Florida State is playing Georgia.
Yeah, that's the mad as fuck bowl because they both mad as hell. They're not in it, so they can just have that little squabble. Washington all the way. Phoenix. I'm going all the way with that. I know Texas is a more better all around team. Trust me, I know. But that boy Phoenix is special. That offense is special. I'm gonna take them now. Alabama, Washington.
Alabama, Michigan.
Michigan.
Nah, I'm talking because I got Alabama over Michigan. I'm talking if it's
okay.
So if it's Alabama, Washington, I'm not putting no money on it. But hey, what y'all got though for the predictions?
Give me Bama. Give me Texas. Give me the rematch.
Yep. Yeah, I mean this Texas team is scary, especially what they did to OSU this past week. I mean, 2 weeks ago it was embarrassing. The way that Ewers has been playing, what do you have? Almost 500 yards. This Texas team is scary this year.
But I'll tell you right now, I go to damn Stillwater. That defense wasn't. Come on, now, bro. We played ourselves. Put a damn cow on our lawn, bro. They wasn't ready for that game. It was pretty much. We were already bleeding walking into it. It was just went ahead and said, "Fuck it, you don't need no Band-Aid. We're gonna cut you open." That's all he did. That's all he did. Y'all got whatchamacallit? Is everybody counting Michigan out, or is there gonna be a close game against Bama?
I think
that Michigan defense serious. That Michigan defense is serious.
Yeah, I mean they locked down that first spot for a reason. They've been playing great all year. It's hard to count them out. I mean, right now, Michigan is favored to win 56%. So
it's just that percentage don't matter when you're facing Coach Saban.
Exactly.
I'm like, that shit don't matter. It's 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely pass it. I would say Milroe is better than JJ in terms of quarterbacks. I would say that Corum is better than McClellan. I would say Michigan has the edge on the rushing. And like you said, Michigan's defense has been solid all year.
Actually, Michigan's rushing is stout. Like that is great.
Yeah, I mean, guy has 24 touchdowns this year.
Yeah.
So he's definitely going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft whenever he goes up.
Him and Ollie Gordon. Shout out Ollie.
Ollie.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be the. I would be okay if that also was a final game. If that happened to happen,
I mean,
hypothetical, if Alabama Michigan was the finals, I'd be okay with that as well. But
realistically, I'm good with any matchup. If I'm being honest, this is a great
yeah,
matchup.
it's a great year this year for college football.
Like you get Michigan, Washington, Michigan, Texas, Bama, Bama, Washington, Bama. Like either matchup is going to be a showstopper. So
yeah.
Y'all got any other topics, household items y'all want to cover?
I think that about wraps it up for me.
All I'll say is, I guess, shout out to King James. He got half of a ring. You know, if you combine the bubble and the in-season tournament, you're at 4.5 rings, my guy.
Yep. They're putting up that banner. I don't know if y'all
put the
saw
banner up. Yeah, they put the banner up.
God damn, it's pitiful over there, bro. I'd be pissed if I walked in that stadium and saw a banner for in-season tournament.
Hey,
especially in the Lakers County, all they care about is rings, bro. That's damn.
They only did it because Giannis said something. I don't know if y'all saw that Giannis interview. Only because Giannis said, "Yeah, you damn right. If I win, I better get a banner." If Giannis would not have said that, there would have been no banner.
Come on, bro.
Shout out Giannis.
Shout out Giannis.
Yeah, that about covers it. Yeah, go ahead and log off this bit. That's another episode. We're gonna come back next week with the predictions, the hot takes, the BS, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Oh yeah, good week, boys. I'll catch y'all next week. We got some good games this upcoming week. Lots to talk about next week.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, same time we'll get to it.
That's right. All right, boys. I'll catch y'all next week.